What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gaming. Welcome back to the next part in our pre-E3 coverage. Today I'm joined by Blue Danger and
Yep.
OnlineZhD.
Hello, what's up?
So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Sony E3 2017 press conference. Basically talk about our expectations for the conference, some of the things we're looking forward to, and some of the things we don't want to see at their conference, and basically how they can improve or keep up with how they did last year at E3. So yeah, guys, would you like to start?
I guess I'll start. So Sony's obviously is the one I'm looking forward to the most, just based on what the sheer amount of games they have to show and just the most potential that they have. Definitely looking forward to seeing games like Days Gone, maybe Death Stranding, and just like ultimately, I feel like there's gonna be a big portion where we're gonna see games we already heard about. I reckon that we're gonna see a good amount of games that are gonna be announced for the first time at the show, just based on the fact that Shuhei said earlier this year that they still have quite a bit of unannounced games. And I feel like if Sony didn't have anything else to show, they wouldn't have showed so much. Like last year they had to space these things out. So things that I can see that being is From Software's new game, whether that's like the recent leak, presumed leaked. I don't know what to believe yet about Phantom Whale, but that and Bloodborne 2 are kind of like making the rounds right now as From Software's next game. Of course, Suckerpunch's new IP, a big one I really want to see because it's been 3 years. It's been 3 years since we've seen Sucker Punch, and I want to see what they're going to be working on for the next 10 years because I feel like this will, next 7 years or so, because I feel like this will be like a new series that they're going to start with, and just like Horizon from Gorilla. So other than that, I guess for other things that could be a little bit of a reach or a PSX announcement that possibly could make the show, Sly 5 or I guess Blue Point's remastering, whatever they're working on, the remake, and PlayStation All Stars 2. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm kind of expecting. Slash, those ones at the end are kind of what I want. But yeah, that's what I'm predicting, really. Should be really, really cool. What about you guys? What do you see?
It's not my most excited because Nintendo's. We all know I'm a massive Nintendo fanboy.
Kind of disappoint you.
Yeah, but just because I think that conference has the most potential, but I'm gonna remain open-minded with all of them. But I do think Sony's gonna again have the best showing out of everyone, just with the sheer, as you said, the amounts of games they got to show. Because they're building up like this rabbit's or this magic hat where they can just pull out game, and they don't have to show everything to still have a phenomenal conference. I don't think this conference is necessarily going to be better than the two previous years, simply for the fact that, as I've said many times before, I just don't think Sony's got that many studios left to come out with that many big announcements. Like, of course, I'm expecting to see Bloodborne 2, and obviously we know we're seeing Sucker Punch's new IP in some capacity, which are both really exciting because obviously I'm yet to play enough of Bloodborne to really give an opinion on it, but I've heard it's a phenomenal game and I love the Soul series, so I can't wait for that. And Sucker Punch's new IP, of course, I adore the Infamous franchise. So Second Son was a little bit disappointing, but we know we can expect great things from them. They really understand gameplay design and open world design, and especially graphical fidelity. That's an area they're very strong in now with how good Second Son and First Light both looked. So I'm really excited for that. In terms of what they will show, I think obviously we're going to be seeing more things from Days Gone and Spider-Man and God of War. I think we're going to be getting some release dates in there and release windows as well. I think games like Spider-Man, if Bloodborne 2 does get revealed, I think that'll get a release window. If Days Gone gets shown, I think that'll get a release date, and I think it'll come out the end of this year, especially now that Red Dead's been moved. A little bit more attention could be put on that. But yeah, they've just built up this robust upcoming catalog of games, because if you notice the trend where if they anything that's absent from one of their conferences, you can expect to see in the next. So anything that was absent from last year's E3, it was then shown at PSX, or we didn't at this PSX 2016, we didn't see Days Gone, we didn't see Spider-Man, we didn't see God of War, because we didn't need to. They can just show off like as many. They've got so many games in the works. That they can just pick and choose which ones they want to show. And this year, obviously, as I said before, I don't think it's going to be necessarily filled with new announcements. I just think it's going to be the things we want to see. So we're going to get gameplay from the likes of Spider-Man and Days Gone and that, which is something I'm really excited for because I'm so hyped for those games. So yeah, and in terms of the structure of the conference, obviously year on year that seems to improve, because last year with that orchestra, that was unbelievable. Like, that was so good, and it's going to be interesting to see how they try and top that this year. So that's really exciting. And what you said about Blue Point's remaster slash remake, I think that's going to be Spyro, and if that is the original Spyro trilogy being remastered, then that would be insane. That would be like a dream country. I will go ape shit at like 4 a.m. if that
Although,
happens.
yeah, Activision though, still.
Yeah,
I feel like, I don't
maybe,
know, it could.
I mean, Spyro belongs on PlayStation, and even though the rights do lie with Activision, I mean, it's a possibility that it could still be Blue Point, and it's actually maybe likely given the fact that obviously that picture from the Netherlands PlayStation or whoever it was the other week that showed the picture of Spyro, which I found quite interesting. And another thing, actually, that picture that was leaked or shown, the aesthetic for Spyro wasn't the original trilogy; it was the Legend of Spyro trilogy, which was when Spyro was all grown up, which could hint at a sequel to PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, because obviously a lot of PlayStation icons like Kratos and Sackboy and Parappa the Rapper were also on that picture, and Spyro was the only one in the picture not to have his own title on PS4, so that could definitely happen. We could see PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, and I think that would be pretty big as well. So yeah, go on.
One thing before Justin goes that I want to mention is, like, you know how good last year's conferences was, like, in the sheer amount of games they showed? Naughty Dog wasn't even in presence at that show, and since then they announced 2 big expansion/games. Obviously, Last of Us Part 2 is a full game, and we're presuming Lost Legacy pretty much is, you know, around that area, since it's $40 and it's, like, the rumored 10-hour thing. That's, like, 2 Naughty Dog adventures, and, like, last year's E3 thing. You know, like, it's just, like, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome, man. And I'm expecting to see The Last of Us 2 as well. And if it does, my prediction was that it'll close the show. And if that does happen, then we know that it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to open with Suckerpunch, I think, or some kind of new game. Yeah, I think that fits. Yeah, Suckerpunch 100%. And I think that closing it off with Last of Us Part 2 makes sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of third party, I don't know, like,
Gran Turismo Sports coming out in November, I think it is, or around that time.
Do you think that will make the conference, though? Like, that could be just something they announced, like, next week.
That's like one of the world's biggest, or if not the world's biggest racing game right now in terms of popularity, and that is Sony's only first-party game that could compete with the big AAAs by slotting it in between. Like, no, I don't think a game like God of War, The Last of Us, will do. I think those sales will be hurt by the third parties. But Gran Turismo is not either any of those types of games, and it appeals to a separate audience as well as the hardcore gamers. So that's one of their bigger games to show, and I think that it will be shown in some form of capacity. Maybe like a 2-minute trailer or something. I don't think it'll have like a massive presence, but it'll definitely be there.
Yeah, it's crazy. People forget Act 2.
So much to show. It's insane.
Yeah. People forget Act 2. That's still coming out this year, because they already confirmed it's going to be 2017 for Act 2.
Yeah,
I'm reckoning we're going to get a date next week or something.
Trailer, maybe.
Well, that's not going to be at the actual conference. As I said before, I think that will be like a pre-E3 thing.
Yeah.
Like where they show it off the week before. Yeah. I don't think we have heard Justin about anything yet, so I'll let you talk.
I mean, you guys have basically covered everything, but I just wanted to quickly say, you know, like basically over the past year, we've seen Sony announce so many new games that we basically know what every single one of their first-party studios are working on. And yeah, that's why this year, obviously, we're probably not going to get as many announcements as last year, because last year at E3, we had like God of War, Days Gone, Kojima's new game, Spider-Man. What else was there? Well, they announced Crash, but yeah. So yeah, this year they're probably gonna announce the Suckerpunch game and probably Bloodborne 2. But yeah, as you said, I think that this year is probably gonna be probably like a longer or like a bigger showing than last year. Maybe
you have a lot of stuff to show. Yeah,
they have like a lot more stuff to show, because last year the conference was only like, I think it was only like an hour and 15 minutes long.
It's like more of everything last year.
It seems like they're gonna be showing everything they showed last year, plus the new games they're gonna be announced, and also, you know, the third party stuff, which they've got tons of third party stuff like Battlefront 2, World War 2, Destiny 2, Far Cry 5. So
that's another thing as well, because Sony are in the bed with so many third parties now. It's like they've got a lot to show as well, because we know they've got exclusive tie-ins to Red Dead Redemption 2, Star Wars Battlefront, and Destiny 2, among others. So you know they've got that much to show. I honestly think this conference is just going to be like the last 2 years has been a build-up of announcements and reveals, and this one sort of like calm it down and just like show what we want to see of these games that have been announced, whilst throwing in like your Bloodborne 2 and your Sucker Punch's new IP, and maybe even like imagine if they showed Kingdom Hearts 3 as one of like the big, not so much reveals because it got revealed 4 years ago, but as like a return, you know what I mean, like the same way Last Guardian was. I think that'd be huge, and it's definitely plausible because we know it's coming out within the next 3 years.
In terms of structure, do you guys think they're going to fall back to what they did last year? I can't believe anything else. I think they'll do the same thing. Yeah.
Open off with exclusives and stuff like that. You know.
Do you think they're going to do the? No, I'm saying like the same presentation style where they just let the game speak for themselves without having like so many people on stage.
Yeah, I think they're. Well, they have a lot of stuff to show.
I feel like they have a lot of stuff. They can't really have like people come on for in each game. They have like
Yeah, exactly. They have a lot of stuff to show, so I really don't think there's going to be people coming up and talking too much.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. And if you think about it, the showings that they're going to show, it's going to be like predominantly gameplay showings and extensive
Yeah.
trailer footage, because
Yeah,
of the
well,
games
yeah.
that have been in out. You can't just show another cinematic trailer or another short trailer. It's got to be like Spider-Man. We've got to get a gameplay demo. You know what I mean? The day's gone.
It's like starting next year is really going to be like where these PlayStation exclusives are really going to be start coming out.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
next year we're going to get at least four exclusives.
That is
We're
true.
going to get God
Yeah.
of War, Days Gone, Detroit, and Spider-Man.
I mean, I could definitely see one of them come in fall, but I think
Well,
G2
yeah, I
Sport
guess
and
we
Act 2 will
probably
fill fall though. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's crazy. I mean, I brought this up to you guys how Sunset Overdrive was revealed back at E3 2013 with just like a very vague trailer, even vaguer than Spider-Man's, and then it wasn't shown off for a year, and then a year later they did the whole gameplay reveal of it, and then it came out later that October, which is crazy.
I just think
So I'm saying,
kinda hard
yeah,
for Spider-Man to come out, because like the game doesn't have a title. Yeah, we haven't seen any gameplay.
Yeah, but I mean, we got a bigger trailer than Sunset Overdrive,
but
but yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so I don't know.
I think it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is all without mentioning VR, and I'd love to see a big push for VR.
Exactly, the new Santa Monica game, VR game.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we know Ready at Dawn are also working on some VR titles that we know of as well. And Order, as much as people want to believe this, and I've said this before, Order 1887 is not going to happen, and I think that, or at least not for many years, because the way that game ended, it was so clear as day that they wanted that to be a franchise with the way it ended. And then because of the lukewarm critical and commercial response to the game, I think Ready at Dawn and Sony themselves sort of took a step back and thought, well, fuck that. So Ready at Dawn are obviously Sony have obviously had conversations with Ready at Dawn.
I think it's so undeserving though.
Yeah, it is, man, because that game had so much potential, that IP, and it's not out of the question that in a few years they might bring it back. It's just I think that'll be something they'll put away for now, focus on the proprietary hardware, and then go back to it at the end of the generation, or maybe even as like a launch title for the PS5. You never know.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they could just show it off in a couple years for the new system.
Showcase, in it, so it's the perfect type of game to show off your new console. So
it's still one of the best looking
like that, it'd be later on.
Yeah, it still is up there, with, like, especially facial animations and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to see a big push for VR this year and come out with at least one huge game. Farpoint's like just what was it, second on the UK best-selling charts this month. So it's clear that VR is not dying, and I'm so proud of that because I want this hardware to succeed.
Same, man.
And again, anyone who's watching this, if you are remotely interested in VR, at least try it out at a store, at your friend's house, whatever, or even buy one. Because if you want to see those big games, you've got to support the hardware early on. We saw it with Vita; no one supported it, and everyone just kept on moaning that it wasn't getting games. But it's not going to get games unless you support it early on. So,
not to turn this into a commercial, but there's quite a bit of software for the PSVR year one, like crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And
it has more software than the Switch does, honestly.
Yeah, exactly, and I want that's a good thing because we're seeing so many more. Like, it's starting to go from expansive tech demos to like proper games, like Farpoint, and all the games that are coming out. So, and Arc Park and Gollum and all these different games. And I'd love to see just maybe they just come out on stage and be like Ready at Dawn's new games. That'd be huge. Like
Ready at Dawn on a VR game, that'd be crazy for VR.
It's like a full price VR game. And get everyone hyped for that system because I think now is your time to do it. Because wait until PSX, that's far too late. And you can't.
I think that's an area they can survive people because like a lot of people are expecting the PS4 to get a lot of cool announcements and like things like Days Gone and like God of War like taking the front. But like VR could easily be an area just like last year where it surprises people and stuff. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just show off like wave 2 of like their big push for it. We already got a lot of good games on it. I'm surprised how much games we already have for the system. Yeah. Like Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, all those.
It's really great, man. It's one of those things that you can't really judge until you've experienced. It's not like buying a game console. It's a different.
They just recently got the information about the show floor and having so much space. Do you think that what they can announce at their conference will have anything to do with how much space they have at the show floor? Yeah, I'm not sure if that's maybe just for VR demos. I mean, there's rumors there's gonna be like a PlayStation Portable. I don't really see the PlayStation Portable happening at all. But Sony does have quite a bit of show floor space. I'm just hoping that just because they have a lot of games and they have a lot of game demos, but we'll see.
Well, I think if they were to announce one now, wouldn't be the time because everyone's still in Switch mode. So you would wait for the Switch's like hype
to die down, exactly.
Slow down a little
Especially if they're gonna be like showing off gameplay for Mario and everything. Like that's just gonna get crushed by it.
And again, E3. I don't think E3 is the time and place to do that. I think that's a PSX thing because the PSX.
It's like where the Vita crowd lives,
the PlayStation fans that love the PlayStation Vita, and to come out and be like, right, we know we fucked up. Here's a new system. We fixed all the problems. Games.
Still get all the buzz too.
The amount they've got to show already, and VR and everything else, there would be no way they could announce like a handheld on top of all of that and fit it into like a 2-hour conference. It's like PSX is your stage to do that. But no,
Yeah.
is there any games that you don't think will be shown at all? Like guaranteed? Nope. Because I think Final Fantasy 7, no way in hell.
Yeah, besides the Square Enix games, I think that Death Stranding has a possibility of not showing up there.
Not at all. No.
I think Last of Us Part 2 is pretty sealed in. Naughty Dog loves to show their games. They're not going to skip E3. They're not going to wait till PSX. There's no way that's going to happen.
Oh.
Maybe rumored games that we're expecting, like, I don't know, like Bloodborne 2 possibly couldn't make it or something. I still think we're not going to see a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2 until a PSX announcement. Because as you said, that seems kind of like a fan service kind of game. A game that's like,
true.
you know,
That's true.
and maybe Sly 5 or maybe even Blue Point Games. If it's a remake, that's going to take a while. That's possible to wait till PSX. But yeah, we don't know we don't know yet.
But maybe with regards to like the Spyro remasters or / remakes,
I think they're going to still wait till Crash because they're waiting for Crash Team Racing in terms of how Crash sells.
no.
So I think if they're waiting for Crash Team Racing, they're going to definitely wait for Spyro.
Yeah, with Spyro, well, next year is obviously, I've said this before, it's
The 20th
Spyro's
anniversary,
20th anniversary. So they could at least tease it this year. You know the way Sean Layden came on with the Wipeout t-shirts, he came on with the Crash Bandicoot t-shirts to tease those games. I think he could definitely do that with Spyro as well, and that'd be huge. And then next year, come out and announce it, or announce it at PSX and release it next year. But there's no way they're going to skip over Spyro's 20th anniversary and Crash Bandicoot's getting remasters. So
Yeah, I definitely think that
about
studio that's working Crash, I think that studio will work on Spyro. Because it's, you know, in-house of Activision and stuff. Then I don't know what that would mean for Skylanders, because I think Skylanders took a break because of Crash, but I'm not sure. Who knows? I think Spyro...
Skylanders is dropping.
Does it sell well at all or no?
No, it's... Yeah, but the Toys to Life genre, like Disney Infinity, just dropped off.
I know they had like Ninja Theory made like a bunch of what's called like little playsets for it. And that's crazy because that team that made like Heavenly Sword and like I don't know. The session's getting really offhand.
Yeah, no. But anyway, in terms of games that won't be at the show, I definitely think the big ones would be Final Fantasy 7. There's no way in hell that's happening now with Square just having took over production of it now. There's no way that game's coming out in the next like 4 years.
There's another one that could possibly not make it is Dreams. I keep forgetting, like I keep thinking of like last year's showing, and I keep forgetting that Media Molecules definitely has to be there if it's not canceled.
That game's getting cancelled.
It's gonna be such a packed show. I'm not. Yeah, I definitely think it will be there though. I don't know.
100%. It's getting cancelled. It's getting shit. Media Molecule are just dead. That studio just doesn't exist anymore. It's gonna get closed down. 110%.
I know. It feels like an indie studio. Like you barely hear from it anymore. I'm holding out hope, but as I said, like if we don't hear from it that like now, then it will be, you know.
Especially if they did have a push for VR and Dreams wasn't in it, like that.
Oh yeah, Dreams is a VR thing, so.
Dreams because it's not happening. I don't think Death Stranding will be shown at all. Like, no way. Anyway, there's people are so crazy. Like, I'm quite crazy with my prediction of the 2018 for The Last of Us. Again, I said I'm not confident in that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm still predicting it because I'm at least 10-20% sure that it might. There's a possibility. But with Death Stranding, that's like new. Like, that is nowhere near coming out, and that is not shown at this conference.
In terms of like going into specific games, what do you expect to see from like Last of Us Part 2 in terms of like story stuff or?
Yeah,
maybe we'll see some Infected. I'm not sure. I want to see like more than just Joel and Ellie.
Yeah,
like maybe a new character that you know that's rumored with the baby thing. I don't know. Horses.
I could see them doing the way they did the most recent Lost Legacy trailer. The way it was like just like. Oh fuck! It was just Chloe and Nathan talking on a boat about what they're gonna go and do. I think it could be that with The Last of Us, just to give some context.
I don't want to see that though.
I don't. That was like a cutscene. I felt that was kind of underwhelming for that thing, for the cutscene. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see. But if it depends on like the context, like it depends what's going on. Because I definitely care about Joel and Ellie than I do for Chloe and Nadine. So it could just be the characters, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. I just hope they have something to show for The Last of Us in terms of like more of what's known, because I couldn't like just last like waiting until PSX to get more info in the story.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what this is about.
The reason I think it's unlikely of getting gameplay, I don't think it's the fact that it could be a 2019 game. I think it's that something you would wait until PSX to show, and given the fact that you are going to have so many gameplay demos for like Days Gone, Spider-Man, God of War, and all these different games, you're going to have so much gameplay to show. You can't fit The Last of Us in there as well. I think that's like. Do it at PSX and just show like another cinematic, give some context, because no one knows what the game's about. Everyone, it's so vague right now. We'd love to see like maybe who. Well, it's not the type of game to have a main villain, but maybe what the game's about, what Ellie's driving force is, maybe just like them talking in a room, and then we've got some like stuff going on in the background, like some posters on the wall that give hints to like what it might be about. But yeah, there's no way we're getting gameplay for that. I think that'll be like a cinematic-esque trailer.
Yeah.
And Days Gone, no. I'm trying to think. There's nothing else.
I was thinking maybe they won't show gameplay because like it's too kind of similar to Days Gone, but then I was also
Yeah.
thinking they might want to show off like an infected just to like reiterate that this is different. But
Maybe,
no,
but
I definitely
The
think we're
Last
seeing a
of Us
trailer
would
though.
take
I'm not
away-
saying gameplay, but yeah.
Yeah, I think The Last of Us would take away from Days Gone in a major way if they were to both
Yeah.
get gameplay demos, because the comparisons would be so much like constantly drawn.
Wasn't Last of Us originally a plan to get like announced at this year's E3, but then Naughty Dog wanted to show it last year.
They
Yeah,
said
they
wanted
wanted to show it early.
Yeah, they wanted to show it
for the
off early.
fans and
So
stuff.
maybe that's why we won't see Sony announcements because like they were planning Last of Us, but I think we'll definitely see quite a few of unannounced games or like something, but who knows?
It's not really
Yeah.
else.
Either way,
if
it's gonna
Bloodborne
be
2 gets
exciting,
revealed,
though.
that'll be gameplay
Yeah.
reveal, 100%.
Yeah, I definitely think that if they show up, because like new IPs, maybe a cinematic trailer, but like if it's Bloodborne 2, I definitely could see it gameplay. And honestly, I want a gameplay, but that'd feel a little bit weird at a E3.
I think
showing.
Suckerpunch. I know we're getting a teaser for it that they've said so far. It might be more, but I don't think it will. Because I think the game's in like early production. I think that's like a 2019
It's possible,
game.
yeah. It could be that they.
I think it could be like glimpses of gameplay, like a cinematic with like
kind of like Spider-Man, where they showed off a little bit of
injections,
slides of kind of like
maybe.
Spider-Man did, the swinging and everything.
exactly like Spider-Man, like 5 seconds of gameplay in between like a cutscene and someone talking over the background or something like that. Because we know it's open world, and apparently it's sci-fi. Is that right? Or...
Yeah, I think
Well,
that's a
rumor,
rumors.
that's a
I know. all I know for sure is it's open world.
Open world,
I think
definitely.
I think that's the only thing that we know
And melee
100%.
combat, that's all I know.
Yeah.
But wasn't there like some kind of thing on their job site about costume design?
I don't know. Well, that could be anything.
Well, that
Yeah,
could be in high
it's not
gonna tell you
fantasy. That
something
could be
or
high
anything.
fantasy.
That is true. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited for that. And if that does get shown, I think, like you said, it'll be like the Spider-Man trailer. But yeah, that's pretty much all the games I can think of. There isn't really anything else. That's the thing. There's no other studio.
I really,
I
really wish they'd open up Sucker Punch's game with a gameplay demo because I feel like it'd be a little bit underwhelming. I mean, it depends on how far the game is. Obviously, I don't want rushed gameplay.
Yeah.
But like just knowing how God of War opened and everything, that's just like if they start off with
think
just
they're
a
gonna start
teaser
off with-
trailer, that'd be weird. Like if they start off with Sucker Punch, it needs to be a gameplay demo. I don't see them just starting with the teaser.
For sure.
If it has a gameplay demo, because I don't think they're gonna start off with the teaser trailer. That'd be a little bit weird.
Well, maybe they'll start off with a different game. Then maybe they'll start.
I mean,
off with
if else, I think it'd start at. If Sucker Punch doesn't start, I think that will start with Spider-Man or something.
I think
Something
I know
similar.
Sucker Punch will be near the beginning, most likely.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they usually announce like that beginning wave of like how Last Guardian, Horizon are like back to back, like all those games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. So I said like at the beginning it'll probably be like showing off gameplay and like more footage of the exclusives we already know plus release dates.
Yeah, because they want to keep the momentum going. You can't just jump right
and
into
they'll
third
probably
party or
have, like,
something.
Third party and VR in the middle, and then at the end they'll close off with it like probably
Like a
more
few new
announcements,
announcements,
and then The Last of Us.
And The Last of Us. Yep, exactly. Yeah.
It's a big conference, man. It's a big.
Yeah,
conference.
exactly.
gonna be
So it's probably
huge.
gonna be like 2 hours long.
They end off with dreams.
Not even like that.
Oh, imagine.
Right.
Sure.
Nah,
Story mode.
It's gonna be like dreams. It's canceled.
Bro, that's not something you do at E3. Imagine dreams coming never. Man,
No, but it's the.
I hope that's a real
not like-
thing, man. But
It's like a lot of people can point towards like saying like, oh well, Sony fanboys, because that comments on the Microsoft video. But the thing is, look at it from a realistic perspective. Sony does have the most games to show. They have the most stuff to show. That's not even just a preference. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly, it's a fact. It's like they
ridiculous.
do have the most to show. They have the best things to show. So yeah, it's like
it's exciting.
you can take that whatever way you want, but I think I don't think anyone would be foolish to be excited. Like I'm the most excited for Nintendo because of the potential. But in terms of like realistically, what the best showing will be, I think it'll be Sony's because they've just got so much to choose from and so much they could show compared to everyone else. It's like
They just have more
Do you think
cards
we're still
than
gonna see
everyone.
like some indie games though.
no,
There's no way. They're way. If anything, they're more tight this year than they were last year. Or anything.
Did we
Like
even get
I
them
could
last
see.
year?
I'm saying like they have more games to show than they did last year. Just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything from last year plus tag along, Lost Legacy, Last of Us, new announcements. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a lot of
It's
stuff.
not the stage to show indies. That's a PSX.
I liked how they did it back at like 2013, 2014, but I feel like that's not going to happen this year again.
Yeah, Geo Corsi normally comes on the stage with holding his Vita up, announcing a ton of indies at PSX. Like that's his scene. It's
Yeah.
never E3. E3's
Yeah.
the big hitters, not like the indie games. And I'm an indie game advocate, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
PSX. There's no way any indies are getting shown. And if they are,
Any-
then it'll be like a big indie, like a Housemark
Yeah.
game or something like Masterfall.
Any other surprises you guys think could definitely show up?
Nope.
Bioshock, no. I feel like Bioshock would be a Microsoft.
Shenmue
thing.
3 has just been
If that's
announced
a
that it
thing.
won't be at the conference in any
Yeah.
capacity, so that's out the way.
I heard rumors that there still could be a collection though, but I don't know. I don't see that.
I don't think I don't want Bioshock to happen. I really don't.
You don't want another Bioshock?
Not at all.
I liked
Not
one by
at all.
like yeah.
Like I know that IP.
It's happening though. It's already confirmed they're making a Bioshock 4.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. I think that'll be a Microsoft thing. I don't think that'll be.
I have a gut feeling that that's the what's it called, the game that Microsoft
Shinobi?
is rumored to get marketing rights on. Yeah.
No, I still think that'll be
Shinobi.
Assassin's Creed, but I mean that could be.
But that's yeah, but he says unannounced. Like that thing has been leaked left and right and like rumored. Like we already know pretty much what it is.
Yeah, and we saw the T-shirt.
I mean, like you can make a fan made trailer based on the information we know. Egypt, the main character's outfit based on that T-shirt leak. Yeah. I hope that they don't reveal Assassin's Creed before E3. I just want like a big reveal at the actual press conference because that's a new game you actually can get a trailer for.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't know why they announced Far Cry 5 right now. I mean, they could just make their well. I guess if it's too long, yeah, you need to show up more.
By itself,
But like, I mean, that's like more games you haven't shown off yet, like new game reveals.
Well, I guess like maybe because if they announce it at E3, right, people are probably only going to talk about it for a while before they.
Yeah, that is true.
Sony
They give
conference
it like
happens,
buzz, and then
people are
Assassin's Creed
already
would
gonna
take it
forget
anyway.
about
Yeah.
it, so.
Plus, Assassin's Creed would get always all that momentum anyway. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely hope. Well, I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like I feel like Assassin's Creed is not the game that I definitely feel like that marketing rights relies to Microsoft, but I definitely think that that's not the game he was leaking. If it is, I'm disappointed because he said unannounced. So I'm hoping that's like a surprise or like something that we're not thinking about. Could be Batman, but that's definitely something that's gonna be PlayStation. You think? Oh yeah, that's another game. Batman could show it up at PlayStation, but I definitely don't think so.
No, not
It's
at all.
possible though. I feel like Shadow of Mordor is gonna need attention at
That'll be Xbox.
Microsoft. Yeah, well, I know that.
We're sitting here rolling off.
Warner Brothers and
We've
everything.
already spoke about like
Yeah.
how many games, you know?
Yeah,
It's
we
like,
really
you know,
talked about
we can't have
everything.
like a 4-hour conference, so it's gonna be like 2 hours long, and with the amount of gameplay demos that we know and we're predicting and we expect at the conference, it's like,
I know.
you know, I think we'll see like 3 or 4 big announcements. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 could be shown. And I think that'll be one of the bigger ones. I think Bloodborne 2 will be shown. We know Suckerpunch is being shown. So yeah, there's so much to show, and I love the way Sony structure their conferences. Like it's just games, Sean Layden, games.
I feel like ever since 2015, it's been good. 2014 was like kind of like a everywhere. You know, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I was just talking to Justin the other day about how waiting for the Uncharted 4 reveal. Like there's so much stuff that we're talking about PlayStation Now and everything. Just like come on,
TV show and stuff.
Right? I know. It's just like ever since 2015, they've been hitting it out of the park.
See Uncharted 4.
Well, that's the one thing I think the biggest thing PlayStation's learned this generation is how to produce a conference, because they're just getting better and better and better.
Yeah,
right.
E3
And now how to
just
please the
keep it,
fans
like,
and everything.
the way
Well, like
they've been
in
doing it
terms of
the past 2 years will
conferences,
be
yeah.
good.
Like 2015, they came out and they were like the big 3. So Final Fantasy, Shenmue, and Last Guardian reveals, like huge games. Then 2016, it was quantity. It was Days Gone. It was God of War. It was Spider-Man. This year, it's going to be like take a break. We know what we're doing. Throw in the big reveals that mean.
That's not even a bad thing. That's like, you know, if we're getting release dates and gameplay, that's like even better. Like honestly.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Even they're taking the foot off the gas in a way, because they know that the games that they are showing gameplay for have relevance. They have weight.
Right.
So it's not just like gameplay for just anything you don't care about. It's like not like just Destiny 2 gameplay. It's like, you know, Days Gone, God of War, Spider-Man, these big games that everyone cares about.
In a way, I can't even see them announcing like that many games, because like already it's kind of hard to remember every single PlayStation exclusive. That if they announce like 5 like they did last year, that'd be even harder, you know?
Yeah, and that's another.
Like
that's
crazy.
one last thing, is they don't want to cannibalize their own situation. So that's the thing. If they show Days Gone, I think that'll be earlier in the conference. That'll be like straight after Spider-Man. They want to get that as far away from The Last of Us as they can, and that's why I think Last of Us will be close.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because Last of Us will eat up Days Gone. No one will care about Days Gone.
I think Lost Legacy will be beginning as well.
It's just The Last of Us detract from it in every way, and that's another thing in terms of release dates. I think getting it out this year is smart, because it gets it as far away from The Last of Us as possible, and that's the biggest thing they want to do, because they don't want to compete with themselves, you know, because they've got that many games. Like they don't want to just like collapse in on themselves by releasing like Spider-Man next to God of War, next to fucking this game, that game. Detroit. Oh my God, Detroit.
Oh yeah, Detroit. Yeah, man.
There's another one. Fucking gameplay,
Oh
because we obviously never really got a gameplay show.
Can we all agree that in 2 weeks where our freaking minds are gonna go everywhere?
Jesus Christ. I mean, they know what. This is the thing. They know how to do a conference, and I think that's the biggest thing they've took away from this gen, is like they know what they're doing now, and we know we can every time PSX or E3 or Paris Games Week or wherever, we can expect a good conference, and I think this will be the best of the bunch again.
finishing it off, I'm interested to seeing what they cut out of the conference and they show off next week at like a YouTube trailer or whatever. Because like last year they showed off like Horizon's story trailer like or like the week
Yeah, they
before
showed off, like,
E3.
a week before
I was quite
E3.
surprised that I was like, damn.
Yeah, but they showed
And
off,
then they
like,
showed off
more at
gameplay.
E3 too, though.
Yeah, they showed off more. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Already next week in like 5 days or like 5 or 6 days we're already gonna get some new
I
announcements.
think
or,
I
like,
think they
more
have that
information.
trailer like before E3 more just to announce
Yeah.
that the game was
Well, just to
delayed.
get it out of the way, that way you can like sit on that and just like
Yeah,
get its
it's like
buzz,
you,
kind of like
you
Far
have the
Cry 5.
conference and
Yeah.
you just see the new release date. People
Yeah,
get
I mean
mad.
that could definitely happen in Days Gone. We can get like a new trailer and then gameplay again. Or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
that'd be a good
that.
idea.
Yeah, because then that way they don't have to get it squished with Last of Us,
Exactly, they don't have to cram. They can just sort of like give it some breathing
Yeah.
space. You know what I mean?
Because yeah, I mean I think you guys can agree they're not gonna like reveal the Last of Us trailer like a week before E3. So
No,
Days
that's
Gone
not
definitely
the
seems
game.
likely.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it seems likely that Days Gone will definitely be the game that will get like the pre E3 week thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
possible.
exciting. I guess we'll just show off, like, we'll end off with, what are you guys looking forward to seeing the most, like, that we've already known, and, like,
That we know
And
is
then-
coming or that we think will come.
that we know. So, like, things that you want to see more of, and then, like, the game you want to see the most of, like, okay, this is really hard to word. The game that has already been announced that you want to see more of, and then a game that you want to see announced, like, what you're excited for the most.
So a
pretty much,
game
in
that
those
we
two
know is going to be
categories.
there and a game that's not.
Yeah,
All
what
right.
are you looking forward to the
Game
most?
that's going to be there, the one I'd most want to see. Fucking hell.
Spider-Man and Last of Us. I'm sorry.
Well, we don't know. Well, we don't know. Spider-Man's going to be there, but I'm pretty sure it will.
It'll be there. It'll be there.
Yeah.
Nah, that would make sense if it wasn't there.
I'd say Last of Us.
That'd be
just
so
because
stupid.
I'd say Last of Us because I want the context and I want to know what's going on. I don't want to see
Yeah,
too much, and
exactly.
I know it's going to be there. In terms of what hasn't been announced, Kingdom
Sucker
Hearts 3,
Punch.
100%.
Mhm.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
I would say
That-
Sucker
oh, yeah.
Punch.
because that's a huge game to show, and I can't wait. And we know it's coming out in the next 3 years, so whether they'll do it now
Yeah.
or at PSX or next E3 is like yet to be seen. But if they do it this E3, that'll be huge.
For me, again, I want to see more of is definitely a tie between Spider-Man and Last of Us. I want to see Spider-Man gameplay, but I'll probably say Last of Us because I really want to get some context, and then Sucker Punch's new IP because definitely that's like gonna be like one of the only new games that they're gonna announce, and one of the guys that's gonna get
It's
like a
kind of
spotlight.
weird though for me because I do want to see more Last of Us, but like I don't know. It's just like I'm okay with not seeing more, but I
You're okay with not seeing more? We like know nothing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, I know- I don't wanna-
get
I don't wanna
surprised. No, but like
Yeah,
at the
but-
same time, I do want to see more. So I don't know. I'm kinda-
Well, like
thing
the
is
thing
that-
is, like the thing with Uncharted 4, they showed off way too much. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I want to at least know the story.
So that's why.
And then once I see the story, then I'm gonna lay off the gas. And I'll be like, okay, now you can calm down. But until then, I'm all up for seeing more because I really want to know what this is about.
But
I
that's
mean,
kind of the thing
yeah.
is that I think Last of Us is 100% going to be there, but this
Yeah.
is where it comes into play with the release date because the reason I don't think they're going to show Death Stranding is because they've shown it twice at different conferences and it's like
I'm starting to go
it's
in
so
that camp
far
as well.
off, you don't need to show it. So if Last of Us isn't there, that could hint that the game's a lot further off. If it is there, it could hint that the game's closer than we think. Because if it is as far off as Sean Layden and everyone makes it out to be, then we wouldn't see it at all. The same way we're not going to see Death Stranding. So maybe they could they won't give a release date, but maybe they could show like I don't know. Maybe the game's just further on than we think, which is what I'm predicting. I still predict somewhere in 2018. Still do. And I think if
Wait
we
for
show
what?
it, that
For
could,
Last of Us or Death
yeah,
Stranding?
yeah.
What are you
No,
talking-
Last of Us. No.
Last of Us. I was gonna say. I thought you were talking about Death Stranding like
Death Stranding's
2018.
like
No way,
2020,
bro.
if that.
I know. I know. I definitely still think 2019, and I don't think we're gonna see a year at the very end because as I said at PSX, they didn't want to show off dates. Yeah. That's the thing. I hope we at least get some release dates for like a lot of the games they showed off last
Yeah,
year
we
because I
will.
really want a timeline. Yeah.
I think
We're gonna get release windows. A lot of release.
Yeah, a lot of release. Well, that's fine because then you can assign things to certain times of the year and you know how to space it out.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But like last year was just like you saw all these games, and now we're going in blind for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it should be really exciting. So yeah.
All right. So those are our thoughts on the upcoming Sony E3 2017 press conference. So of course, make sure to let us know down below in the comments what your thoughts are, which games you're most looking forward to. And yeah, with that, we'd like to thank you a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next part of our pre-E3 coverage.